the Spirit of Jazz podcast, where music dances with mystery, with your hosts, Bill Carter and Jeff Kellum.
Welcome to the Spirit of Jazz. This is Bill Carter.
And I'm still Jeff Kellum.
And we're glad that you're here tuning in and hopefully subscribing. We would be very appreciative if you could tell others about this podcast because we have so much to share and so much about jazz that excites us.
Our advertising budget is very low, so we really do depend on people sharing this face-to-face, person-to-person, voice-to-voice.
So today, we're getting close to Christmas time, and we thought maybe we'd talk about the whole theme of incarnation, which is a 10-cent word. Jeff, what do you think that word means?
The word made flesh is the theological way that we have traditionally phrased this in the Christian tradition. Incarnation, that word flesh, is part of the root of the word, isn't it?
I think it is. It has to do with carnal, or the root for the word meat. Skin.
This is going to be interesting, Bill, to see how you now move from flesh, meat, and skin into jazz. Now, skin is on a drum.
Well, I proposed this idea for this episode because it seems to me that when we talk about the spiritual dimension of jazz, we're talking about something that becomes real here and now, something that has physical implications, like the tapping of the foot, or the musicians who are playing with their fingers or blowing notes into a tube of metal, something that has to do with the physicality of the music. And I thought that might be kind of an interesting theme.
Yes, when I think of a jazz group really feeling the music, obviously the audience is kind of moving back and forth in their chairs or their seats or snapping their fingers or tapping their feet. But the musicians, too. When I see Mike Carbone blow that saxophone of his whole body goes into some of those notes. It's really fun to watch.
Yeah, and when he gets going, he lifts one of his legs.
Yes.
Notice that?
Yes.
Puts his knee in the air. Others of us, I tend to lean forward and look at the piano keys without looking at them. So intent, I'm listening. The drummer's always watching to see what the cue is. I mean, there's something physical about this music. I tell some students it's one thing to hear it, it's another thing to watch it.
Yes.
And to see the musicians react to one another in real time and to do it physically.
Yeah, and I'm as we were talking about Mike and you at the keyboard, I'm thinking about a trumpet player who bends both knees and bends forward or bends backward to hit a note. Tony Marino's head is bobbing.
That bass player, and his head spins at a different velocity than the notes, which is incredible.
The band working bodily, putting flesh behind the spirit.
I think so. Let's listen to a performance of a lullaby, Away in a Manger.
Yeah, okay. Now, there are two tunes I know to that.
Well, that's right. They're two different tunes, and I couldn't decide which one I liked the most, so I glued them together. We'll talk about it afterwards.
Okay.
In a manger, no crib for his bed, the little Lord Jesus laid down his sweet head. The stars in the bright sky looked down where he lay, the little Lord Jesus asleep in the hay. Cattle are lowing, the baby awakes, but little Lord Jesus no crying he makes. I love thee, Lord Jesus, look down from the sky and stay by my cradle till morning. is now. In a manger, a crib for his bed, the little Lord Jesus lay down his sweet head. The stars in the bright sky look down where he lay, the little Lord Jesus asleep in the hay. Jesus, I ask thee to stay close by me forever and love me. I pray, bless all the dear children in thy tender care, and fit us for heaven to live with thee there.
So that's Away in a Manger, and the tunes, it's so familiar a tune. It's
Yeah.
a wonderful melody, and a lullaby.
It is. It's sweet. It's gentle. You can imagine the mother rocking a child slowly. When I put it together for the band, I said, we're going to play this like a slow dance, so that it's warm. It embraces.
Yeah.
When we think about Christmas coming up and the Christ child and the claims that God became a human, it's analogous to, I think, what happens sometimes when an idea gets expressed, when a notion, some imaginative theme actually takes place here and now.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's one thing to have an idea. It's another thing to put it to work. Ideas that are not enfleshed are nothing but little clouds, little dreams. But pick any idea that has made an impact on people. It took some work. It took some physicality to make it real.
Yeah. And, the kind of general popular notion that the word spiritual has to do with some kind of vaporous existence, it means all the more when that spiritual moment or that spiritual presence actually takes flesh in our hands. When we feed people who are hungry, or we march in places where justice needs to be announced. It's not enough to simply have an idea or have some kind of emotional moment. We've got to translate that into physical energy.
And when I think about when I'm most spiritually touched, tears come to me. Mm-hmm. It's my physical response often to something that has touched me deeply.
I've reflected some time, and I put this actually into the title of one of our CDs, that when this incarnation happens, it becomes quite fragile.
Yeah.
It becomes limited. Here's a little poem I wrote. It goes like this. When word takes flesh, it is a fragile incarnation. Power becomes subject to weakness. Freedom is chained by time. Fools compromise wisdom. Death crouches behind the door. Still we discern a way through the dark, giving, embracing, loving, risking all, and joy finds us.
Joy to the world.
Yeah, and yet there's something about this that's potentially misunderstood or at risk or compromised. Some people are going to miss it because it's maybe not as grand and glorious as they expected. And yet later on, there's that kind of moment of insight or that burst of joy, that new release of energy that we didn't expect.
And this is part of the message of Christmas, that into a dark world comes an explosion of light from a child's eyes in a manger. I'm ready for some more music.
Let's listen to another lullaby based on a British carol. This is the old tune Green Sleeves, reimagined as What Child Is This?
Child is this who laid to rest on Mary's lap is sleeping, whom angels greet with anthem sweet, while shepherds watch our keeping. This is Christ the King, whom shepherds guard and angels sing. Haste, haste to bring him, Lord, the babe, the Son of Mary. Why lays he here in such mean estate, where ox and ass are feeding? Good Christian, fear for sinners here. The silent word is pleading. This is Christ the King, whom shepherds guard and angels sing. Haste, haste to bring him, Lord, the babe, the Son of Mary. So bring him incense one and all to own him, the King of Kings. Salvation brings, let loving hearts enthrone him. This is Christ the King, whom shepherds guard and angels sing. Haste, haste to bring him, Lord, the babe, the Son of Mary.
That's lovely.
It is lovely.
And it's an old, I mean, you said an old tune. It is an old tune,
Yeah.
reimagined. And that's what jazz does so very well, is to take something that's so familiar, but it adds new life to it.
And there's a great risk for the musicians to play this, to imagine it, to improvise on it, to collaborate on it. And it could go terribly wrong because of physical issues. Maybe someone had a terrible meal before we played, or maybe someone's depressed, or I should make note that although it's not the case anymore, there have been occasions in jazz history when the musicians have not taken good care of themselves, and I'll just leave it there.
Okay, yeah. We can imagine the situations, some of the rather tragic stories of musicians who died very young.
And yet they keep going. There's something that pushes them through. Something at work within them that they're going to risk playing again and playing another day. Yeah, I think of a wonderful film called Round Midnight. Dexter Gordon, long, tall Dexter, the saxophonist, playing a character based on kind of a combination of Lester Young and Bud Powell, and his life is a mess.
Yeah.
And yet every night he goes and he just releases the spirit into the world through his tenor saxophone. And the depth in these notes, it is stunning.
Yeah.
So, when we kind of move toward the shadows time of the year, at least in the Northern Hemisphere, it's getting darker earlier and the light is escaping us. It becomes an opportunity, I think, for the light that does come to illumine our path and to change us, to affect us, and to beckon us forward. And when that happens, it punctures the gloom. There's something that announces the coming of a greater joy and a greater peace from beyond us, from heaven, from earth, wherever it comes. While we begin to wrap it up today, here's an old English carol called the Sussex Carol. It announces some light and releases the joy into the room.
This is a great song to use. I mean, we talk about Christmas lights. We talk about lighting our trees with candles and windows. City streets are lighted. There is a persistence that light must conquer darkness.
Yeah.
The Sussex Carol. So we've already talked about your church's annual Christmas Eve service, right?
A little bit, but Jeff, maybe this is the time to tell folks that because we have a fifth Friday in this month, on December 30th, we'll release a podcast, a special bonus episode featuring music recorded from our Christmas Eve celebration with the Presbybop Christmas Eve Band.
This is exciting. If you've never been there or watched it online, service is a wonderful journey into jazz at Christmas. So,
that's right. Let's tell you how you can find that. You can go to the website for First Presbyterian Church, Clarks Summit, Pennsylvania, and it's www.fpccs.org. And on the right-hand column of the website, you'll see a link where you can click and watch live. It goes well past midnight. It begins actually around 11 o'clock p.m. Eastern Time. And if for some reason you're busy, and there are a lot of reasons to be busy on Christmas Eve, you can always watch it later. So we're glad that you're with us for this episode. We hope that as the shadows lengthen, that the light finds you, and that you're gentle with yourself.
thanks for listening to the Spirit of Jazz podcast. This is a production of Presbybop Music. To find out more about Presbybop, our music, concerts, and recordings, please explore our website at www.presbybop.com. And send us a note telling us what you think about the Spirit of Jazz. We'd love to hear from you. Check in with us again next time. I'm Jeff Kellum.
And I'm Bill Carter. Thanks for tuning in.